Warriors NRL Fanatics, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and I'm going to get into my NRL Round 6 tips. Now last week I managed to get 8 from 8, so a perfect round for me in terms of picking the game. So yeah, look, it's going to be a very difficult round to pick this week. There's some tough games to call, but there is also some games that are pretty easy to call as well, and it's going to be a great weekend of footy. It's a long weekend, it's Easter weekend, and we got footy right through from Thursday right through till Monday afternoon. So it's great that we'll get to see lots of games on this week. But yeah, let's get into it. So Thursday the 14th of April, it sees the Canberra Raiders versus North Queensland Cowboys at GIO Stadium in Canberra. It kicks off at 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, 9:50 p.m. for those in New Zealand. Now the betting prices for this, for sports bet, Canberra Raiders are paying $1.60, while North Queensland Cowboys are paying $2.85. In terms of team news, Xavier Savage has been added to the bench, while Matt Frawley is dropped out. Matt Tomoko has been named despite copping a knee to the back against the Melbourne Storm last week, while veteran Jared Croker is listed amongst the reserves. So Jared Croker may be a chance to line up for his first game this season if Matt Tomoko is ruled out. For the Cowboys, Cohen has been named. He returns from shoulder injury and he plays at the prop position, while Ruben Cotter goes back to the bench, while Cornell Lemelu is on the bench, while Jermaine Tanoa Brown and Griffin Neame are out. Look, for me, like I said in previous weeks, the Canberra Raiders for me have been showing a lot of inconsistency this year so far. They were very disappointing in their performance last week. For the Cowboys, very close against the Warriors. Probably should have won that game. And look, they have shown a lot more than the Canberra Raiders. But in saying that, Canberra is a very tough trip to go up and get a victory, and I think the Raiders will be hungry for a big performance, and yeah, I think the Raiders will get up and win this game. Look, I think it'll be a very close game. I don't think there'll be anything, too much of a scoreline. I think it'll be just, for me, I'll say it'll be Canberra Raiders by 4. I think it'll be, tight throughout the game. And look, in terms of anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Scott Drinkwater to score. I think he had a great game against the Warriors last week. Nick Kotrick to score as well, while Jack Wyden and Semi Valame to cross over. On to Friday, the 15th of April, Good Friday. It sees the South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and this is at Accor Stadium in Sydney. Kickoff is 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, 6 p.m. for those in New Zealand. For the South Sydney Rabbitohs, in terms of betting, they are paying $1.25 at Sportsbet, while the Bulldogs, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, are paying $4. Now, in terms of team news for the Rabbitohs, Blake Tafe steps into that fullback spot for Latrell Mitchell, and Hame Saleh is on the interchange bench. Look, in this game, I'm going to go with the South Sydney Rabbitohs here to win. I think they'll be far too good for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. And I'm going to go Rabbitohs by 18 points. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Alex Johnston, Blake Tafe, and Cameron Murray to cross over. On to the second game on Friday night sees the Penrith Panthers versus the Brisbane Broncos at Blue Bet Stadium in Penrith. And this kicks off at 7:55 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, 9:55 for those in New Zealand. Look, for the Penrith Panthers at Sportsbet, they're paying $1.10, while the Brisbane Broncos are paying $7. Penrith Panthers, they are 1-17 unchanged, which is no surprise whatsoever after, the start of the season so far, yet to lose a game. For the Brisbane Broncos, Payne Haas has not been named after the NRL has issued him with a breach notice. So Corey Jensen takes his spot, and Riles Kennedy is on the bench. And Corey Oates and Adam Reynolds, who Corey Oates has an ankle and Adam Reynolds has a knee, will be monitored during the week, but are expected to be playing. In terms of this game, I'm just going to make it pretty simple and quick. Penrith will win rather comfortably. They'll win this rather well. Now, in terms of anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Isaac Tago to cross over. He's been in great form this season. Dylan Edwards and James Fisher-Harris and Charlie Staines. And I'll go Penrith Panthers here to win by 30 plus points. On to Saturday's games now. Saturday the 16th of April, it sees the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles versus the Gold Coast Titans. And this is at 4 Pines Park. Kickoff at 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, which will be 7:30 p.m. for those in New Zealand. At Sportsbet, Manly Sea Eagles are paying $1.35, while the Gold Coast Titans are paying $2.45. In terms of team news, Manly Sea Eagles welcome back Tola Colo, and he plays in the centres in place of Morgan Harper after, picking up that calf injury, and that's the only change for the Sea Eagles. For the Gold Coast Titans, Brian Kelly returns in the centres, while Philip Sami shifts to the wing and Corey Thompson drops out, while Sam Lasoni takes Kevin Proctor's spot on the bench, and Jaden Campbell is still only a week away from recovering from that injury. Look, in terms of this game, I think this game can go either way, but I'm going to tip Manly Sea Eagles here. Now, I'm going to pick them by 12. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Ruben Garrick, Hamoli Olakuatu, and Dylan Walker. And for the Titans, I'm going to go with Philip Sami and Patrick Herbert. On to the second game on Saturday. And boy, this is going to be an absolutely cracking match. I reckon this will be the game of the round. I think, in terms of picking game of the round, this one's got to be up there. And it'll be the Melbourne Storm versus the Cronulla Sharks. And this is at Amy Park in Melbourne. It kicks off at 7:35 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. And it's 8:35 p.m. for those in New Zealand. So for Sportsbet-wise price, the Melbourne Storm are paying $1.39. The Cronulla Sharks are paying $3. Now, team news. Melbourne Storm, Tyrone Wishart returns to the bench while Alec McDonald drops out. And for the Cronulla Sharks, Aidan Tolman returns on the bench in place of Royce Hunt. Boy, I think this game is going to go down to the very wire. And look, Melbourne Storm are a tough team to beat at home in their own stadium, in their own patch there. So, look, Melbourne have been taken to the wire against some good teams up there and at their own ground. But, you know what? No, I'm going to stick with Melbourne here. I was very close to picking the Cronulla Sharks. I was very close to picking them for an upset. But I'm going to have to stick with Melbourne at home. And I'll go Melbourne Storm by 8. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Ryan Pappenhausen and Xavier Coates to score. On to Sunday, the 17th of April. And look, if you guys want to see my preview and predictions and thoughts for the Warriors-Sydney Roosters game, I will be doing a separate video for that one, so make sure you tune in for that. Now, in terms of the second game here, St George Illawarra Dragons vs Newcastle Knights at Wynn Stadium. It is a 4:05 p.m. kickoff in Australia, 6:05 p.m. for those in New Zealand. Sportsbet have the Dragons at $1.54. Newcastle Knights at $2.50. Now, there's quite a few changes here, so let me get through it. Now, for the Dragons, Josh Maguire and Tyrell Fuimaano have been named to return from their suspensions, while Maguire comes onto the bench and Fuimaano is listed in the reserves. Josh Kerr earns a promotion to the starting lineup, and Aaron Woods drops back to the bench while George Burgess comes in for Jackson Ford, who is amongst the reserves. For the Newcastle Knights, David Klemmer is back from a knee injury, and his return shifts Jacob Saifidi to the bench, while Jarrell Moasia has an elbow injury, and Edric Lee will make his return on the he'll make his return on the wing. Sorry guys, bit of a blank moment there. On the wing, following a foot injury, and Dominic Young is out due to a knee injury. So, in this game, I'm going to go with the Newcastle Knights to win here by 10. I have been not impressed by the St George Illawarra Dragons' performances lately. And look, I think the Knights, to me, are showing a lot more than what the Dragons are showing right now. I know they've lost their last couple of games to Newcastle, but I think they will bounce back here. They'll get a victory. And you know what? Big bold prediction here. I'm going to go with Kalen Ponga. I think he'll have a field day, and I think he'll score 3 tries. I'm going to say 3 tries. He'll score a hat-trick. So I think he'll have a field day against this Dragons side. Look, in terms of anytime try scorers as well, Dane Gagai to cross over in this game. So Newcastle to win by 10. On to Monday, the 18th of April, sees the Paramedic Eels versus the West Tigers. And this is at Commonwealth Bank Stadium in Western Sydney. Paramedic Eels at Sportsbet are $1.07, while the West Tigers are $9. In terms of team news here, there's a lot of team news to get through, so let's get into it. So, Wanga Blake is out due to a knee injury, while Marata Niokore comes into the centres, and Will Palacini switches to the wing, while Junior Paulo is out due to that one-match suspension on that dangerous tackle contact, while Oregon Kafusi replaces him up front, and Sean Lane, who's got a hamstring injury, returns, while Ryan Madison goes to the bench, and Bryce Cartwright will go back to 18th man, while Mitch Rain remains on the bench. For the West Tigers, Dane Laurie is listed to return after missing the Sharks game due to a positive COVID-19 test, and Stafford Toa moves to the wing, while Jackson Hastings returns from suspension, and Luke Brooks shifts to 5'8", while Jock Madden goes to the bench. James Roberts is also back, and he replaces Oliver Gildard in the centres, while Ken Mamalo, Jacob Little, and Tyrone Peachy have been dropped to the extended bench, while Jake Simpkins comes into the hooker spot. Now, in terms of this game, I think Parramatta Eels will win this rather comfortably. And I'll go Parramatta Eels by 20 points. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Dylan Brown, Clinton Gufferson, and Will Palacini to score. So, yeah, that wraps up my NRL Round 6 tips. Let me know who you're picking for the games this week, and which game are you looking forward to the most this week. Comment below, and if you're new to the channel and you haven't already done so, I'd appreciate it if you make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. It helps the channel out massively, and yeah, look, it's very much appreciated if you do subscribe to the channel. And also, don't forget to click the thumbs up on the video, click the like button to show that you enjoyed this video, and also don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss a notification when I go live on the YouTube channel next, or when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you all for the next video, which will be the preview between the New Zealand Warriors and the Sydney Roosters.